Once again, welcome. Today, you're going to learn about the future plans of our athletic program. And without further ado, I want to turn it over to David Williams, our Director of Athletics.
Thank you, Roy. Before we begin, I'd like to, first of all, apologize to the faculty and students that are not able to attend because of fall break. The timing of this announcement, we wanted to get it out as quickly as we possibly could after the Board of Trustees acted on Friday. We didn't want to do it on Friday to avoid the high school football and everything that goes into that for the media. And so today's announcement is as quick as possible, had taken that into account, and again, apologize to the faculty, students that are not able to attend because of that. The action by the Board of Trustees was unanimous, and it was on Friday afternoon, and the action and proclamation read like this. The Board of Trustees has unanimously approved Kentucky Wesleyan College and Dr. Turner to pursue membership in a new NCAA Division II conference in and around the Ohio River Valley. Just as Kentucky Wesleyan was with the GLVC as charter members on July 1st of 1978, we are extremely excited to be charter members of a new conference. The new members of the conference will be as follows: Notre Dame College of South Euclid, Ohio; Ursuline College of Ohio; Cedarville University near Dayton; Central States College; Urbana University, and Kentucky Wesleyan are the 6 members at this point fully dedicated to a new conference. We believe that this is the best fit at this moment for Kentucky Wesleyan academically, socially, athletically, and budgetarily for our student athletes, and our goal to provide the best student athlete experience for every single student athlete for our college. The timeline moving forward is this. We have, over the last month, been preparing for a Board of Trustees decision. The Board of Trustees were given the question and asked to give us direction as which way to go. With this direction, we will continue to do things such as write the bylaws, write a constitution, hire a commissioner, do a feasibility study, complete a business plan, and apply to the NCAA for membership to create a new conference by December 1st of this year. So as you can tell, it's a lot to do in a little bit of time. Luckily, we've been doing a lot of the work already. We have most of those documents in place, and we'll further execute those documents with presidential approval in the upcoming weeks. Once we have a commissioner hired, we will then have them sign documents, and a new conference will be applied for with the NCAA. The new conference is not yet named, so I'm taking suggestions. After the application is given to the NCAA, there will then be a January convention. At that January convention, the moratorium on conference expansions must be removed. If that conference expansion is removed, we will then have the opportunity for the membership committee of the NCAA to consider us for conference membership in the early February, possibly March membership committee. If that approval is met, at that moment, we will then become an official conference, of which we would then give resignation to the GLVC. We will not give resignation to the GLVC until our full membership is granted and approved by the NCAA in February or March. Until that time, and even if we are approved for this coming year and for the 2012-13 season, we will stay members of the GLVC, with the first year of membership and participation on the schedule being 2013, 2014 for the schedule first year play of this new conference. The sport of football, at this moment, there are only 4 teams in the new conference that play football. That should tell you 2 things. First of all, we won't be a football conference until we get enough schools. Second of all, we will be pursuing other schools that have football, with the full intention to have that sport as well be sponsored by the new league. As I said before, Dr. Turner and I both have come into this whole process with very objective minds. We both have been looking for what is best for Kentucky Wesleyan College now, 5 years, and many years into the future. And we truly believe that this new conference can have that ability and is the answer to providing the best experience possible for student athletes at Kentucky Wesleyan College. With that, I will answer any questions, or Dr. Turner also is here to answer any questions you may have of him as well. Yes?
You said there's still an opportunity for more teams to potentially be added at the conference?
Absolutely. We have a couple of issues with the Great Lakes Valley Conference, and the first issue is unfortunate, but the geography of the teams in the Great Lakes Valley Conference does not match Kentucky Wesleyan's location at this point. It is our intention to make sure that future expansion moves west and south of the current schools, closer to Kentucky Wesleyan, which will then allow us to improve things such as missed class time and travel time and the budget it takes to get to those schools. But we certainly are looking for more schools for this new conference, and hopefully further west and further south than some of them that we've already mentioned.
Are you currently in talks with any other Great Lake Valley schools at this time?
No, we aren't, and it wouldn't be fair to those schools if we are in those talks. I will not mention any of the schools that we have even mentioned or talked to or considered out of fairness to them, except for the 6 that have fully been brought into the mix with their CEOs and their board actions. Other questions?
Anybody else?
Yes. We'll go here first.
Will we still be eligible with the new conference to get into the NCAA tournament?
Yes. We are a current active Division II member. Our teams will be eligible throughout the entire transition. All of our sports teams will be eligible the entire way through. The only difference is that the automatic qualifier that comes with winning a conference championship will not be available for 1 year in the new league. The new league in 2013-14 will not have an AQ. We believe it will come in the 14-15 year. Because of that, all of our teams would have to qualify as at-large members.
So you're saying the big reason for the move is geography, I guess? That's the big reason that you want to pursue the different conference?
Geography is certainly a large reason. We also want to make sure that as the Division II landscape changes, whether it be geography or whether it be support for different sports sponsorship levels or pure budget support for those teams, that we align ourselves with like institutions. We want to make sure that the amount of emphasis that Kentucky Wesleyan places on their sports are the same that we have in our conference institutions. Right now, we don't believe we fully have that in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. We are striving for teams that support their sports, their athletic departments at similar levels to what we plan to do now and in the future.
Was a look at Division III, was it a distinct possibility? Was that talked about? And if so, what was the decision to stay at D2 instead?
Yeah. We prefer to talk about where we're going and what we are pursuing. Yes, all three options we're talking about, the option of the Great Lakes Valley Conference staying in that level, the option of going Division III, the option of a new conference in Division II, and the Board of Trustees' action was to pursue the last one. Why Division II? Because we feel like the schools that we have already committed to this new league and the schools that are potentially may join us most fit our institutional profile, both from a geography standpoint and from the type of mission of the institution, mission of the college. Those more closely fit what we are about at Kentucky Wesleyan.
Will the number of scholarships remain the same as it is in Division II now in the new conference?
The number of scholarships is an institutional decision, and the new conference will not have place any limits on the institutions for their scholarship limits at this time. That has not been discussed amongst the current 6 schools that are moving forward.
We still use the same playing facilities as far as the sports center and, of course, your current field?
Yes, there's no plan to leave any of the current facilities that we are in currently.
One more question on the sports. Is any sport affected by this other than football as far as changes, or?
Actually, football is really the least affected sport, to be honest with you, because there's a possibility until we recruit 6 or 8 football schools that, ironically, football might be the only institution playing in the GLVC as an associate member at this point. We've already cleared that at least with the commissioner at the approval process of the members. But moving forward, the football team would be a member of the GLVC for football, which that league starts next year. So we're very cognizant of the conference experience for our student athletes. And football, because of their situation, hasn't had that. And we know what it's like for a team not to have a conference experience, not to have that competitive place where you're going to compete for a championship. And we want to make sure that all of our teams have that conference experience.
A commissioner I take it there will be a commissioner for this new conference. Is that somebody that will be chosen from one of the schools like we've seen in other conferences? Is that kind of how that works?
The person will be chosen by the conference schools, but not amongst the conference schools. We are in the process right now. There is a commissioner search going on, and it will not be one of the athletic directors or one of the people from the schools. To become a conference in the NCAA is a very complicated process. You have to have all of your ducks in a row. And one of the things you must have is a conference office. Division II is very conference office based. They run all of their compliance checks. They run all their violations. They run all their medical hardships. They run everything through the conference office. And so you must have a conference office that is strong, experienced, knows what they are doing. And the people we will be interviewing will not be from within any of the member schools.
And your school at KWC, you guys are pretty much spearheading this project, you'd say? I mean, looking into kind of the leader on this, creating a new conference?
I'd say all 6 member schools are in it together.
With the importance of the USI rivalry around here, is there going to be any effort, especially like in basketball, to keep that a non-conference game every year or something?
We'd love to play Southern Indiana in all sports and Bellarmine in all sports. Moving forward, we understand the difficulty that brings when a conference schedule doesn't place them on your schedule twice a year. But from a revenue standpoint, a competition standpoint, and that's what the fans want to see, we understand that. Whenever possible, we will attempt to get those schools on our schedule, realizing the difficulty it brings in the future. There's going to be times when it doesn't benefit them or it doesn't benefit us, and we'll need to work through those issues and make sure we get them on the schedule as much as we can.
Any more questions? Thank you for coming. For TV stations, we have a one-on-one available with Mr. Williams and President Turner. If you like.
Thank you all, and special thanks to student athletes. I know that this process hasn't been easy for you, especially because it affects you a lot more sometimes than the fans moving forward. And fans, maybe that's hard for you to understand, but believe me, it affects their next 4 years of whether they're receiving scholarships, who they're competing against. It has a huge effect on them. And fans, we have a great respect for everything it means to you as well. We have a lot of community support, a lot of community input. As I said before, Dr. Turner and I looked at this very, very objectively and honestly tried to take some of the history out, because moving forward 20 years down the road, the history is extremely important, but it's more important to position ourselves for 20 years down the road and where we're going next. With the changing landscape in Division II, we think this is a great option at this time. So thank you all for coming, and we'll be available. Thank you.